What is up, guys? Welcome back to Truth and Transparency. We're going to give people a chance to get the notification here. Let's go ahead and do this. We have the mock trial example here. Witness 1 for the state. The 911 dispatcher here. Right here, Miss Calvin. Carolina Calvin will be called as the state's first witness. So all rise for the jury, for the judge first. All rise. Mock trial, witness number 1. We're all getting ourselves in here. Good evening, everybody. Come on. It's birthday eve. Witness number 1. I'm going to give you guys a sample of how I do my mock trials. So the mock trial will be run Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 3:30 daily, Monday through Friday, the Idaho4 Mock Trial. It will kick off. I was going to start just on the Monday on April 6th. It'll be like the Monday after like the Easter. So, and then it'll be like basically for the whole month of April. In May, like I don't have a trial that we're doing, so I figure like we can do the Idaho4 mock trial for the 2 months for April and May. So, but yeah, come on in. Again, good evening. Happy birthday Eve, Lana. Happy birthday Eve. I will take it. Thank you so much. We just went and had some fun. Came back. I gotta tell you guys, while we're waiting for people here for the beginning of this, the way this would work. Jesus, is gonna be a hoot. I got somebody commenting to me or texting and saying, Lana, did you really say that leg spreader? I was like, yeah. Lindsay Gaetani, that leg spreader? I mean, yeah. She's got more kids from more dads than I couldn't even fucking count. Anyways. So come on in. Or let me let the members know. I always feel bad when I have something planned. So let me make sure I don't be like, oh wait, did I just get here? So again, mock trial. Here we go. Let me just get this out to the members so they get the notification. So Bill Thompson over here. Everybody's piling in. Oh, yes. We have all these YouTubers in the crowd. Yes, look out. Uh-oh. So people couldn't believe that I guess I took it to Melanie Little. I don't care who the fuck anybody is. If you're wrong, you're wrong. And I just want to know for how 2 years you can go and thinking that you're reading all the documents, how you could possibly have the timeline wrong. It doesn't make any sense, especially if you're a lawyer. Can I be a juror? Oh, yeah, we're going to be doing all of that. We're going to be having jurors. Yep. This is just a sample, and I'm using the first witness to show you guys how this will all work, how I run my mock trials. So it'll be a consistent schedule where it's Monday through Friday, just like Judge Hipper was going to do. He was going to do 8:30 to 3 o'clock every day. And so we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to do a voir dire. So if you want to be on the jury, yep, we're going to do all of that. So I'm very, I run a very tight ship around here. Okay. Now the way that I do my mock trials, because it's a serious matter, is it's about the line of questioning. Okay. It's not so much the answers that you would ever get. It's about, these are the questions that would be posed. Okay. And so that you can see how this would have flown, like the flow of it all, and actually who is responsible for what and what type of questions you could have expected to be heard by different people. Because the scope of the direct examination, again, mock trial. So like Could other things come out? Obviously, yes, but we're mock trialing it. But it's based off of the discovery. I was waiting until we can get so much more information to do something like this. And we got like the sample exhibits. We have the booklet of like how the state was going to be running, like they had a list of all their exhibits. So like right here, all right, you're going to see how this is actually an exhibit right here. Let me actually show you guys what I've created. I'm going to post all of these because the jury's going to have, let me come over here to my window. I got Hector, the projector. We got a ton of shit. Let me pull up. Hold on one second. My document. There we go. There we go. This is state's exhibit. It's actually going to be exhibit 2. The 911 call is exhibit 1. The defense has letters. The defense has letters. The state has the numbers. So whistle down says these are always amazing. They truly are. Okay, this is going to be good. Yep, it sure is. I did my biggest mock trial that I ever did was the Chris Watts case because there was never a trial. And so here in the Idaho4 case, we never got a trial. In some of the witnesses that I have, I'll actually have a witness, but I'm not having people coming on the channel and making it a mockery. They just use the word mock trial, that term. It's not to mock anything. It's to literally give you guys a glimpse at what would have happened. And I think actually Steve Gonsalves mentioned like, doing a mock trial for this case for people to see truly what's been going on and the stuff that they want to keep sealed and shit like that. So it's going to be. So here we go. Again, I sent out the notifications. We'll break this on down. And so I'm going to use an example here with the state here, Bill Thompson. So I'm going to play Bill Thompson because you can only be your biggest, here, play devil's advocate. You be Bill. How would you go about this? Well, I would call, and the state will call their first witness. And so the state's first witness in my mock trial is Calvin, Miss Calvin, which is Carolina Calvin. Okay. So the state calls Carolina Calvin to the stand. And I'm going to just keep her picture up so you guys can see. And I'll zoom in, go like this. So we'll zoom in on her. She is all the way to the right. She is the black woman. All the way to the right. Okay. All right, good evening. Or I should say good morning. Can you please state your name for the record? Miss Calvin, where did you work in November of 2022? Now, she worked for the Whitcomb. She was the dispatcher. And in what capacity did you work for them? So depending on how she would answer certain questions, in what capacity, she's going to say what she did for a living in 2022, where she worked in November of 2022. How long had you been employed? She's going to give that answer. And now, were you working on November 13th, 2022? Did you bring anything here with you today to testify? And is that a CD that was a recorded call from 11/13/2022? Did you take that recorded call on that CD from November 13th, 2022? Your Honor, may I approach the witness? And is this your signature on the CD? It's your initials? Okay. Your Honor, may we publish for the jury the 911 call brought here by Miss Calvin? And this is State's Exhibit 2, Your Honor. Yes, you may. Okay.
a.m. 42 seconds, November.
Okay.
11:55 a.m. 42 seconds, November 13, 2022.
911 on location of your emergency.
Something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what.
What is the address of the emergency?
1122.
What is the rest of the address?
Oh, Kings Road.
Okay. And is that a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right?
I'll talk to you guys. We live at the White, so we're next to them.
I need someone to repeat the address for verification.
The address, 1122 King Road.
And what's the phone number that you're calling from?
What's your phone number?
And tell me exactly what's going on.
One of the roommates has passed out, and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up.
Okay.
Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Hi,
And are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop passing it around.
Can I just tell you what happened pretty much?
What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now?
I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m.
Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out?
Yeah, I'll come. Come on, but we gotta go check. But we have to. Is he passed out? What's wrong? She's not waking up.
Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and how old is she?
She's 20.
20, you said?
Yes, 20. You're 20.
Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Okay, sorry, they just gave me the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay.
You should talk to them, say. I can't talk to them. They need you to talk to them.
Hello.
Okay. I've already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
Say that again. There's a police here right now.
Okay. If there's a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
We don't have one. I think yes. Do you have a defibrillator? Yes, we have one.
Are you talking to the officer?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to let you go since he's there with you and can help you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay.
Okay. Miss Calvin, is that the 911 call that you took on November 13th, 2022? And while you were taking the phone call, you dispatched officers to the address given on the phone call. Is that correct? While you were listening to that phone call, did you hear the clicking noise that was going on? Can you tell the jury what that was? That was me typing in what was being said to me. So you take notes and we have to type things in, whatever's being said, so that we can get the information to whoever we're dispatching on what the case may be. Okay. And that's what you were doing while you were taking that call. Is that correct? Is that what you said? Mm-hmm. Who did you dispatch, if you recall, to the scene on November 13th, 2022? Your Honor, if I could approach, Your Honor, this is listed as Exhibit 3. Have you, may I approach? Hands, said papers. Are you familiar with the documents in front of you? And can you describe for the jury what those are? Yes, these are our CAD notes. And are those, what's the date on there? 11/13/2022 at 11:56 a.m. Okay. And so have you seen those before? Yes. Does that refresh your recollection on who you would have sent and dispatched from your job with the 911 call? Yes. And could you tell the jury? Mitch Noonans and Corbin Smith. You know, she would say all the people that were dispatched. Okay. And there at the end, you did say that you sent EMTs as well? Okay. No further questions. Ms. Taylor, would you like to cross-examine Ms. Calvin? You bet I would. Now it's cross-examination. Cross-examination of state's witness number 1, Calvin 911 dispatch. Whitcomb. Okay. All right. Good morning. First of all, Miss Calvin, I don't think we have the pleasure to meet yet. My name is Miss Ann Taylor, and I have the pleasure of representing Mr. Brian Kohlberger's in this his rights, as well as him in this matter. But nice to finally meet you. And we have not talked or met ever before, correct? Miss Calvin, on that phone call, well, during that phone call, did you ask the person that you spoke with who you talked to? Okay. Well, I want to first talk about your training and experience. Okay, Miss Calvin? Okay. I noticed on the call that you had, you mentioned to, in quotes, please stop passing the phone around. Do you recall that? Okay. How did you know that someone was passing the phone around? When you were trained, or are there specific questions that you are trained to ask, such as the person's name that you're speaking with? And so the reason that you knew the phone was being passed around is because you could tell the different voices. Some were male, some were female. And nowhere in that phone conversation did you ever obtain anybody's name. Is that correct? So the name of the caller here, did you do that on this call? Why would someone want that information, Miss Calvin? Why would that be important? Was there any reason you didn't ask for the name of any person that you spoke with that morning? Miss Calvin, on that phone call, did anyone mention, well, in that phone call, did anyone mention, out of the people that were passing the phone around, Did anyone mention any blood on that phone call? Did you ask anyone if they checked for a pulse? A minute and 15 seconds into that phone call, there is no one that is in a hurry to get an ambulance to the scene, correct? Your Honor, if we could play that first minute and 15 seconds again, please.
11:55 a.m. 42 seconds, November 13, 2022.
911 location of your emergency.
Hi, something is happening. Something's happening in our house. We don't know what.
What is the address of the emergency?
1122.
What is the rest of the address?
Okay, so right there we're 30 seconds in. Correct, Ms. Kelvin? And nobody has said anything as far as we need the words help or can you send an ambulance or anything like that, correct? And nobody has mentioned any blood on that phone call, correct?
Oh, Kings Road.
Okay. And is that a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right?
I'll talk to you guys. We live at the White, so we're next to them.
I need someone to repeat the address for verification.
The address, 1122 King Road.
And what's the phone number that you're calling from?
What's your phone number?
So, Ms. Calvin, would you say at that point you had talked to two different people, neither of which ever you got the names from, and now the second person has no idea what the phone number is of the person that called 911? Is that correct? Objection calls for speculation. Ms. Calvin, is there a pause there? Do you hear her ask, "What's your phone number?" Yes. So she says, "What's your phone number?" The person that then gives you the phone number had to ask for the phone number, correct?
And tell me exactly what's going on.
One of the roommates has passed out, and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up.
Okay. So that's right to the 1:15 mark. And now, did you ask anyone did you ask anyone where the passed out person was located? Do you recall someone saying pretty much at 4 a.m. and wanting to tell you a story? And Miss Calvin, you weren't interested in a story, were you? Because you're trained to not be interested in a story. Isn't that correct? And so you weren't interested in a story because the phone call here that you took, this 911 call, was that at 4 a.m.? Was it at 4:30 a.m.? Was it at 5 a.m.? Was it at 5:30 a.m.? No. And in fact, this phone call did not come to your dispatch until what time? 11:55 and 42 seconds. Is that correct? Did anyone during the course of this 911 call tell you that did you tell anyone during the course of this 911 call to arm themselves with a weapon? No. Did anyone during the course of this 911 call tell you that they armed themselves with a knife and was looking through the house for a perpetrator? No. And you didn't instruct anybody to go get a knife? No. Did anyone ask you on this 911 call to send an ambulance, to send EMS, to send help? We need help. Did anyone ask you what they could do to render aid to anyone? No. Did anybody say I can try CPR. I can try mouth to mouth. I can try the Heimlich. No. Did you ask them if anybody has tried CPR? Does anybody know how to do CPR? Does anyone know how to do mouth to mouth? Does anyone know how to do the Heimlich? Did you ask them on the phone if the person was a drug user? No. Did you ask them if there were any drugs, what the situation was? Was there drugs around the person that was passed out? No. In fact, you didn't even ask where the person was that was passed out. Your Honor, if we could play a couple more, if we could play a little bit longer here.
Okay.
Oh, and I saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Hi, this is.
And are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop passing it around.
Can I just tell you what happened pretty much?
What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now?
I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m.
Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out.
Okay, right there, Your Honor. Okay, right there. You attempted to try to find out as much information as possible. Is that correct? And right there, the question was, is there somebody passed out right now? You recall that? And this person says that they don't know. Is that correct? Is this another new person? So the call, when it originated, is something happened in our house. We don't know what. And then the call was passed around. And it was the person in between the person that originally called. And that was the second person that's talking about somebody being passed out. Is that correct? Did you ask that person, how did they know that somebody was passed out? Where are you? Like, are you there? What's going on? Did you ask how long was she passed out for? Did you ask if she had any medical conditions? Did you ask where you found her? Did you ask how did you find her? How do you know and think to call 911? What's the purpose of the 911 call if it's not for help? Isn't it true that they were calling 911 to tell you a story? Ms. Calvin, what information were you able to get out of any of the callers? In quotes, something is happening in our house, end quote. Now, Ms. Calvin, you spoke on direct examination that you were typing in. If you can go ahead and play from the 142 mark right here for 40 seconds, please. So,
I know, but pretty much at 4 a.m.
Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out?
okay, so that's the question that you just asked. Is that correct? And now, please listen to what happens here for the next 40 seconds.
Yeah, I'll come. Come on, but we gotta go check. But we have to. Is she passed out? What's wrong? She's not waking up.
Okay.
Did you hear there on the 911 call here, did you hear a name being said? Xana? So let me get this straight, Ms. Calvin. Somebody is calling 911 and they don't know why they're calling 911. Miss Calvin, who were you instructing to get a defibrillator from? You did not know that the police were there yet, and you were instructing someone to get a defibrillator. Who was that to? Miss Calvin, isn't it true during the 911 call, one of the 911 callers said, in quotes, they saw a man in the house, end quote. Nobody said they saw a masked man in the house. Is that correct? Number for the questions. Redirect. Yes, Your Honor, please. Now, Ms. Calvin is going to be redirected. Bill Thompson stands up. Ms. Calvin, have you ever received any awards for your work, in your line of work? Yes, I have. Your Honor, if we can put up on the overhead exhibit, State's Exhibit 1. Ms. Calvin, have you seen this before? And can you identify who the three people are in the picture? Yeah, that's myself, to the right, and Miss Wendy's in the middle, and then that is another dispatcher, Tisdall, Ashlyn. And do you recall when this was taken? This would have been in March, I want to say, of 2023. March in 2023. And what was it for? This is when I was awarded the Dispatcher of the Year for 2022. Number for the questions. Ms. Taylor, just a quick redirect, a recross, really quick. Just a couple brief questions. You can go ahead and leave up the State's Exhibit 1 there. Thank you. Miss Calvin, you said that this was Miss Wendy Barrett in the middle, and that was your supervisor? And then who was this to the left? Ashlyn Tisdall. And she's married to one of the Moscow Police Department officers. Is that correct? Jacob Tisdall? Yes. Okay. And this is you to the right. Okay. Now, approximately how many 911 calls do you usually take in a year? Isn't it roughly 15,000 to 20,000 calls per year? And how many of those 15 to 20,000 calls in 2022, how many were delayed by 9 hours? Ms. Calvin, out of those thousands, 15 to 20,000 calls in 2022, how many did you not get the name of the caller, the 911 callers? Ms. Calvin, when did you find out that 4 people were stabbed to death on that call? Ms. Calvin, isn't it true that you listed this call as a unconscious person call? And then you changed the call and listed to a homicide call. Is that correct? Ms. Calvin, you didn't find it odd that out of when you were on the phone with any of those 4 people that you spoke with, you didn't find it odd that none of them mentioned any blood that any of the victims were stabbed or no trauma suffered, no blood. You didn't find it odd when you found out that it was a murder scene for 4 brutally stabbed, over 100 stab wounds, that not a single person said anything about blood on that phone call? Isn't it true, Ms. Calvin, that you are instructed by your training and experience, that you're instructed to point out suspicious 911 calls, things that are off about 911 calls? Did you find anything suspicious about the 911 call that you took on that morning, 11/13/2022? Did you notify any officer that, hey, you might want to listen to this 911 call? Did you flag it? Do you guys have like a flagging system? Like, hey, now also, is there at any point in time, there was lots of periods where there was dead air that you weren't instructing or trying to get more information out of anybody there? There's an officer there. Oh, the police are there now? Okay. And that was it. You didn't take anybody's name. And that's protocol? No more further questions. That is witness number 1, Miss Calvin. The state's witness. Got an award for that. Not a single person mentioned blood. Not a single person asked for help. But they wanted to tell you a story at 4 a.m., but you're not interested to hear what happened at 4 a.m. because it's 11:55 a.m., right? Did you guys hear what happened in the Corey Richardson case? Do you guys want to know what they did in the closing arguments with the 911 call? That pretty much sets the tone going forward for a series of procedural breakdowns. Miss Calvin doesn't stand up to Lana's questioning. I mean, but this is the type of preparation like that, here, so if I'm Ann Taylor, what I want to point out is the following, and I just try to keep it simple to highlight this. You didn't get anybody's name, so we have no idea who was there passing the phone along, right? But that's not important to you. That's part of protocol. Pretty much at 4 a.m., right? But you're not interested in 4 a.m. Why? Because it's 11:55, right? Who gives a fuck? Nobody's trying to get any help to anybody, right? Nobody. Also, they saw a man in the house, not a masked man, right? Nobody in a mask, right? They saw a man in the house. How did they know it was a man? That's what's coming next. How did they know it was a man if they had a mask on? I mean, I would love to know the answer of what she would say about the 911, like what her opinion is. You want her to speak on that. Everybody and anybody would have flagged, wait a second, there's 4 dead people stabbed to death, 100 stab wounds. Not a single person on that 911 call mentioned seeing blood at all. Nobody mentioned that they needed help. Send help. Not even for themselves. Like, there could still be the person that's running around stabbing people. You didn't tell anybody to arm themselves with a knife, right? No. You didn't tell anybody nobody told you that they armed themselves with knives. Nope. You didn't tell anybody that, right? No. But they're calling. And then the best part is why are they calling? Why are you calling 911? You call 911 for what? For help. The number one thing you call 911 for is for help. You don't call 911 to tell a story. Never. And if I want to be a little extra, I could probably say that 911 call you received, that was an actual 911 call. That was not calling the non-emergency line, right? Okay, just making sure. You know, if I probably would add that in, that they didn't call the non-emergency line. This was a 911 call for an emergency. Okay, if you really want to like fucking twist it a little bit. Welcome. Yes, I'm doing a mock trial and I was demonstrating with witness number 1 how this would play out. And it would royally, absolutely just, I mean, now the question is would Bill Thompson start with, you know, how else is he going to start it all off? And my thing is if I'm Ann Taylor, I'm not objecting. I want the whole 911 call played because it's ridiculous. I'm not going to object to hearsay. I'm not going to object because she wants the hearsay out with the masked man. I want it in there because they don't say a masked man. They say, I saw a man in the house. I want that in there. They don't say a masked man. They say, I saw a man. They saw a man in the house. Oh, a man. So when did it change from I saw a man in the house to you better add a mask on him? You want to keep that in there. So I would let it, I would not object to that. I'd want that out there. I would let the hearsay fly. And then I would royally fuck them up with that. That's how I would go about that. Now, I'm not a lawyer though, but I could. You don't need to be a lawyer to have. You don't need to be a lawyer to know how to argue your case. You need to know the law in order to be able to not get played by the system with the little fucking rules that they want to like. So, but yeah. Now, witness number 2 would be Noonan's, but that's a whole. Glad I made this one. Thank you so much there, K Schmidt on the 8 there. What's up? I agree with you, Lana. Prosecution would have started with 911 in my opinion, and Taylor would have flipped it as a positive for the defense. It's 1000% a positive for the defense. Okay. That 911 call is absolutely horrendous. Okay, absolutely horrendous. They don't know what's going on. Right? They don't even know why they're calling 911. And then if I really wanted to be special, I could say this, which is I thought the whole purpose that they called 911 is because there was an because if you go, but you would wait. I would wait until Dylan. I'd wait until Dylan when she wants to say that, and I'd wait actually to use it with Noonan's. And I would say, now Dylan told you that Hunter told her to call 911 because there was, go downstairs, call 911. Go outside, call 911. Well, why? What? Think about this. You guys waited 9 hours to call 911. Why would anybody call why would they, meaning Dylan or Bethany, call 911 when they haven't done it yet? You don't call 911 because you have to wait to know why you're going to call 911. I'm never going to call 911 if I don't know what am I going to say to 911? What am I calling for? They could object to relevance all they wanted on that. It's relevant because in the picture that they're showing here, these are, you won an award, correct? That's why it was going to be relevant that you won an award. So in order to win an award, if I want to go into more detail, who nominated you for the award? Who was up for the like, is it just, how does that happen? Who votes on this? So I can go into more detail about how you won that award. And it would But for purposes of like, I'm not going to sit here and go objecting back and forth to myself and then getting myself through it. That's 1000% going to be fine. Now, the question is would Bill Thompson be mentioning the fact that she was an award-winning, dispatcher? Well, in my mock, I said, hey, he may try to, because I could totally see Bill doing this. Like, look she got an award for this. And then if Bill doesn't use it, if I'm Ann Taylor, I fucking use it. And so that's why I think if I was Ann Taylor, if Bill's not going to use it, I would use it, because I would want to make a big fucking to-do about the fact that you got an award for this, for not doing your job to protocol. You got an award in 2022 for what? And then to ask her, okay, in 2022, you take 15,000 to 2,000 or to 20,000 calls a year. How many of those calls waited 9 hours to call 911? How many of those in your career have you come across? None. Thank you, Noma, for the questions. And you can't unring that bell. Exactly, because Jacob Tisdall is a huge part, if I'm Ann Taylor, in my defense, because I'm putting a ton on the fact that the police are involved. You bet your bottom dollar. And they are involved with as far as the undercovers, because I have them lying in a police report. And I would say, sidebar, if they try to overrule me on that, or sustain me rather, Your Honor, sidebar. Your Honor, this is relevant. This is relevant because it goes to show that in the morning there, okay, Jacob Tisdall worked the night before. We have no idea what type of conversation he would have had with his wife. Okay. What time did she get to work that next morning? And if you're going to make me call her in here to do that, okay, but it is relevant to know that how she won this award. If they want to make it relevant on the fact that they think to tell this jury about this fucking award, they've opened the door. Now I can inquire about this award and who you beat out for it. That's how, come on. And I let the question go so that I could so that I could ask this. That's what I would say. But it's fine. If you want me to bring back people, I have no problem doing that. But they open up the door. I let the question go. And yada, yada, yada. Yes, exactly. And that's what I was saying. I can go back and forth and I could lay the foundation, which pretty much would take like 4 questions, which is, how do you get an award over there? How do you get nominated? Who nominates you? Okay, who were you up against for it? Is there just one dispatcher? Maybe it's just an award that you can just be defaulted to. Have you ever won that before? Have you ever been nominated before? I just had to throw that in there, though. I just wanted to use her picture so you guys could see everybody. Anyways, there you go. The 911 call. If I'm Ann Taylor in that situation and you don't go ham about that 911 call, that's the only way that they're getting it in is through Calvin. And she did nothing to try to get information out of anybody. Like, why are you calling 911? And that's why I asked the question, like, what information did you get out of this call? Isn't that what your purpose is for? What are you even writing and typing in the CAD notes? They're not saying anything. We haven't identified anybody. So but I think that I think it's pretty clear that if anybody's going to say that the 911 call makes the state look good in any type of capacity, they're wild. And talking about that there was a man in the house at 4 a.m., you need to hone in on the fact that they did not say a masked man. And if you don't, You're missing a huge opportunity. You need to say how it was. It was a man in the house, not a masked man. And again, how do they know it was a man and not a woman? So, yeah, I think the jury would be like, wait, that's the 911 call? Because you'd be expecting like horrific things, like somebody describing a bloodbath. And none of that's there. None of it's there. None of it. So, then you got, I'd be curious to see how I'm going to go the route with Noonan's here. I mean, he is witness number 2. And you obviously have the body worn camera would be, played significant portion because it would take the jury through basically the house, and them arriving. So can we say that's 1000% his wife on the 911 call that it isn't his wife on the 911 call? I mean, I don't think it's her, but I mean, I guess you could say maybe it is her, but that's the Carolina Calvin's who's on the witness list, not Ashlyn Tisdall. So she's not listed on the witness list. So yeah. You'd be surprised though. Of course they would have you're going to hear about this in some type of capacity, but you guys, that 911 call should literally be like a wake up call to everybody. That 911 call, especially if you want to compare a case right now with the, here, let me show you guys what I posted yesterday, or maybe it was the day before. This is what you could expect Ann Taylor to do in like a closing. And it would be, you'd want to set up something like this where you're going to show what everybody was doing during the 911 call or leading up to it. And let me show you what I mean by that. This is literally like wow. Watch this.
When she returned to their bedroom, Corey Richen says she was in Ashton's room. Speaker. There's no call detail records showing a call at that time. But she may have called on Wi-Fi, somebody. That would not appear in the call detail records. It would appear on her phone if her phone had not been deleted.
Dylan Mortensen deleting calls, okay? Dylan Mortensen deleting calls. And then this man went as far as to say, and this is not facts and evidence, but he's saying that if she was making calls on Wi-Fi, it's not there. And so what was she doing? She could have been making those calls. And then they object during the closing. Watch what he does.
Objection, Your Honor. These are facts not.
Please proceed.
These are facts not in. And he's like, nope. These are facts not on evidence.
Unlock her phone again at 308, 310, 315, 319, 319.
Look at this. So here it is. 306 and 50 seconds. The phone is unlocked for 28 seconds. 307 and 4. Speaker activated. Then 308 and 10 seconds. Device travels 243 feet. Then at 310, 37 seconds. 1 minute and 40 seconds. Phone is unlocked for. Then 315 and 59 seconds. Phone is unlocked for 37 seconds. Then 319 and 7 seconds. 28 seconds. Then it's unlocked for 3 seconds. Then here it is. 911 call is activated at 321 and 5 seconds. If you did this, and so look at this, it's called cover up. Cover up. Ann Taylor would be doing the same exact thing, and yet she gets to start, okay? She would start at fucking 2. At 3. We're talking about 9 hours. And Ann Taylor, if she did not use this in her closing, would be an absolute moron. But she would, and she was planning on it. And when you actually see this, it's like, dude, this is from 3:06 and 50 seconds to 3:21.
Then 15 minutes later, she called 911.
15 minutes later.
That is
15. Listen to what this man says.
not, and then 15 minutes later, she called 911. That is not immediately called 911.
Bethany and Dylan said that when they woke up, that they were calling the roommates. Bethany didn't call anybody. Bethany didn't text anybody. Bethany says she woke up right before calling 911. That's what she tells Noonans. Dylan, same thing. That she wakes up and she tries to call and text her roommates and they don't answer, and then they call Emily. Are you kidding me? None of that happened. In here, he didn't show that Corey was Googling anything or that she was surfing fucking Instagram and Indeed and all of this shit. He just shows 15 minutes and it fucking is like, look at this cover up. She didn't call immediately.
Called 911. Perhaps she was staging the scene during these 15 minutes.
Perhaps she was staging the scene during these 15 minutes. Oh my God.
Perhaps she was staging the scene during these 15 minutes. We're going to discuss the 911 call in a minute. This is a receiver activation. At 3:22:12, when we're in the 911 call, she's on receiver on her phone. The 911 call operator asks her, "Are you on speakerphone?" She says yes. No. She's on receiver.
He's like, yeah, no, she wasn't. Exactly. They're lying. They're saying over here that Corey Richen is lying, right? Well, holy shit. Holy shit. What are they going to say about this case?
Before we play this,
My husband is not breathing. He's cold. At least she knows what the fuck's going on. These other people that called 911 have no idea why they're calling 911. Why are they calling 911? And then she says, "Hey, Bethany, come on, we have to go. We have to go inside. We have to go see if she's unconscious or something like that." Right? So what are you calling for if you don't know what the fuck's going on? Why are you calling 911? You've waited all this much amount of time, so why are you calling now and you don't know why you're calling? You get it? Well, because the reason that we called was to tell you the story about 4 a.m. Well, then maybe you should have called at 4 fucking a.m. Right? It would literally and this is what I've been saying as far as you guys have no idea how this would fucking land in a courtroom. But Thompson did. Thompson knew how this would land. Yeah. And they're like, God damn, if she got convicted, then Dylan and Bethany would be put below the damn like the length of time that lapsed for 9 hours, you guys, that's reasonable doubt right there. It's sad and it's bad.
sorry. We're going to listen to the first part, actually most of the 911 call again. I ask that as you listen to it, you'll hear the first minute. The first minute is not the sound of a wife becoming a widow. To echo her friend Chelsea Barney, the first minute is the sound of a wife becoming a black widow. Listen to how Corey Richens on the 911 call immediately presents, or very soon after the call begins, presents her alibi narrative.
Her alibi narrative. What are Dylan and Bethany doing? Presenting what immediately? A narrative. Presenting a narrative. That's not what you do when you call 911. You're calling for help. Oh my God, help. Get here now. We need help. Nobody called for help. It's statement analysis. It's awful.
Listen to how she tells the 911 dispatcher where she was when Eric died. She is distancing herself. Rather than, he's not breathing, he has no pulse, I have to figure out what to do, I need help. She's saying, hey, look, I was not there, I was in my son's room. That's her alibi. She's distancing herself from the time and the place that she murdered Eric. The 911 call operator asks her to perform CPR. Notice how she distances herself from that. No, I don't know how. No, he's too heavy. No, I can't move him.
And that's why I asked Calvin. Caroline Calvin, you didn't render any aid. You weren't telling them to render any aid. So someone's unconscious, like what? Like, and not trying to figure out why they're unconscious. Are they allergic to anything? Did they take anything? Do they have any medical conditions? Calvin isn't doing shit and she got a fucking award? Dude, this is crazy. This is crazy when you see this closing and you're just like, wow. And y'all wonder why the fuck I talk about the Idaho4 case, because it's absolutely ridiculous. The narrative is absolutely laughable. If you really want me to believe that, just like you want me to believe here, it's absolutely whatever the case may be, it's laughable. It's laughable. And this jury came back in 3 hours. 3 hours. 3 hours. That was Corey. That's her husband. Brian Kober has no relation to these people, and they expected to get something off of a speck of touch DNA. And they even got the circumstantial stuff that they got because they lied in probable cause in the beginning to even be able to develop this circumstantial narrative. And so, yeah, then that's what puts doubt in your mind to say, wow, I mean, God, nothing else. I mean, over 100 stab wounds, and you think that this happened in 3 minutes? And then these people they're not harmed. They don't even call 911. And then when they wake up in the morning, then they're just laying around and still not calling 911. And then when they call 911, they have no idea why they're calling 911. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Yeah. It's asinine.
She is not immediately trying to revive him. We're going to run a clock from the time that the dispatcher asks her if she can start CPR to the time she purportedly starts it. It's 6 minutes. It's
6 minutes. 6 minutes. We're going to run a time. We're going to make you guys sit here for 9 hours in a house full of blood.
Listen, please, to the portion of the 911 call where the operator
And that's where to stop. But it's 15 minutes. You can go listen to it. It's bizarre because it's like not in that case, but it's like if you use any other case, like, oh my God, they didn't call 911 for 9 hours. And there's just a dog that's barking. Yep. And then they want to say that this happened in 3 minutes. So it's just, yeah. So if they think Corey Richen is guilty, okay, I would love to know what that jury would think about just Dylan and Bethany. Like, fuck, you may be saying Brian Colbert is guilty, but shit, you don't almost be over here. Like, I just think that how they were unharmed. They waited all that time. It's almost like, are they part of it? Like, what? And then it is not far-fetched then to think they had 9 hours. He's saying she had 15 minutes to stage the scene. They had 9 hours. 9 hours. And the state covered up and acted like they were sleeping for it all to the grand jury. You guys, it's just it's absolutely fucked up. It's fucked. It's wild. So anyways, I just had to share that with you guys because it's like you put me on a jury where someone doesn't call 911 for 9 hours. And I'm like, what the hell were they doing? And then you present it to me and you show me that they were just on their phone and they're walking all over, but I just think that they're walking in like the same room all over. No. It's crazy. This is crazy. And I just think it's just these lawyers, they think their job is, I just know the law. Well, you better become, these defense people better fucking become more passionate in being able to script these narratives to basically be able to grab the attention of the jury. Okay, because they absolutely suck. These attorneys are pathetic that I've been seeing. You better be able to tell a narrative. And you better be poking the holes out to show ridiculousness in what they're asking you guys to fucking believe. And I know that you're not fucking this dumb. And you would start with the fact of the matter is that they had no idea who did this crime. And yet they didn't even try to figure it out. They had this blood all over the place. And they didn't think it was important. It's disgusting. So, fucking A. The stuff that could happen in 9 hours. But, yeah, so you just build a wall and you have bricks. And each time that something isn't right, that's what should build a wall between for you to say that you have to get over this wall. You have to be able to take the bricks away. Okay. Each time that something is wrong, the brick stays. And until you can remove all those bricks, you can't vote guilty legally, you guys. If you're following the rules here and how you could say that you know this beyond a reasonable doubt, then you're lying to yourself. And you're going to have to live with that the rest of your life. The state has to prove to this to you beyond a reasonable doubt. And you should be asking yourselves, why would the state need to lie about anything to be able to obtain any search warrants? Anything to be able to obtain, I mean, you name it. Like, why are you lying about what car it is? Why are you okay when someone's lying to you in an interview and you're not figuring out why they're lying? The name Brian Colbert was not said, and yet you guys that investigated this Idaho4 case did nothing when you guys heard ridiculous story or ridiculous statement after ridiculous statement. I don't need to explain why Brian Kober's DNA is on a piece of a sheath that's foreign to the crime scene. They do. And they can't. They cannot place Brian Kober there during the crime. So when did it get there? Because that's not his car. And they're saying that he drove that car that night. That's not that car that's on that camera. That's not his. So how did he get there? And that's not part of their narrative that he walked there or that he went in a different vehicle. In fact, where they're saying that the car originated is in the middle of Indian Hills Drive, which is where Eric Gower was last seen, dropping somebody off. And now we've heard from Braden Jensen, who tells us that Eric Gower switches cars all the time when he does DoorDash. Or not DoorDash, but Ubering. And then we have Molly, who's saying that she was back in there multiple times, that we don't have her vehicle ever going back there, not once. And now she's an hour and 45 minutes late. She told investigators that nobody texted her and was messaging her on the app. Here we have somebody that was using that phone saying, "Are you lost?" So everybody other than Brian Kober can be put there at the time of the crime, and none of these people. We have Molly changing her phone out. We have Molly changing her tires. We have Molly never coming forward. She had to be found out by a geofence. And then investigators were hunting her down because she was inside this geofence when she shouldn't have been. Not my client. Molly. Molly's passing out her car to everybody and anybody. We truly have no idea what vehicle Molly was in with the food. Molly was never shown the vehicle and she never identified, yep, that's my car. Also, where was Molly beforehand? Which way should she be coming in to be dropping this off? Why is she coming from Wolenta? Oh, that's right. Molly told you guys that she came from the other way. Molly said that she was back there. That was her third trip. Where is her vehicle on the other two trips? It's not there. Why is Molly walking up and down in the middle of the street? Looking for a house in the middle of the street. Crazy shit. Crazy shit. Again, why do we think that this crime happened at whatever time they're saying? Between 4 and 4:25? Because of who? Dylan. That's it. Because Dylan, who didn't call 911, and then when she woke up, they still waited for another 4 or 5 hours when they woke up. Dylan, who was rehearsing Vampire Diaries. Dylan, who said that she was drunk drinking. Dylan, who said that she woke up to all of this stuff, or actually didn't wake up. She tells the people that, no, we were going to bed because it was 4 and Kaylee was going upstairs to go to bed. So then I went to sleep because Kaylee went to sleep. And as she walked upstairs, that's when she comes out, oh my God, there's someone here. But actually the records would reflect that none of that's accurate. And it was Bethany who called Dylan at 4:19. So Dylan doesn't move a muscle from 3:51 when she was saving a contact in her phone. And what was she doing between 3:51 and 4:19? Because then Bethany calls Dylan, and then Dylan has to tell her some stories. To what? Oh my God, Bethany's figuring it out. I got to tell her some stuff. I have no idea. But I can just tell you that Dylan didn't alert anybody to anything. Dylan's not calling any of her roommates to text them or call them out to say, hey, like, what's going on? None of that happens until Bethany starts. And that starts with what Bethany heard, which was downstairs all the way on the bottom floor, to a firework or a firecracker and to a flash bang. Well, what was going on? Bethany can't see that, anything like that happening upstairs. What did Molly come blasting through the door at for? What was Molly lighting cigarettes up over there? And she's seeing what, a cigarette get lit? I mean, what's going on here? And then where's Ethan and Xana? What time do they truly get home? Because Bethany nor Dylan said that they saw Ethan or Xana. And yet the police want you to believe that they got home at 2. If the timeline is completely wrong, then, and it is, then who did what, when, where, how, why? The motive's wrong. Everything's wrong. At least enough to say that, God, yeah, we have no idea what happened. Nobody knows what happened. And they knew that Dylan's over here reciting, literally, play it for them. The Vampire Diaries. I'm here to help you. That's what she said she was watching at 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning. She's watching Vampire Diaries. She can't tell you what episode she's on. Bethany, no, they're Googling what it means. They're Googling, hey, if you Google it, then you can figure out more of what the synopsis of the series is about. What? That's absurd. Then the killer, who just stabbed 4 people, comes right face to face 3 inches away from Dylan, and she is perfectly fine, doesn't get stabbed, nothing. But yet they want you to believe that because Xana interrupted something, she's dead, and so is Ethan because of that. But poor Dylan here, who's interrupting some more, she's fine. He left a witness just to say all the stuff. That makes no sense. The only thing that makes sense is that Dylan was right when she says, I have no idea if I just dreamt all of this or if I'm dreaming all of this or if any of this truly happened. And then the state wants you to believe that, hey, it definitely happened because look at 4 people are dead. Well, ask yourself, what was going on for those 9 hours until 911 was called? And just because we don't have phone records for stuff because people are deleting stuff, then we can go ahead and put Dylan in the mix of making Wi-Fi phone calls. We can put Bethany in the mix of making Wi-Fi phone calls. That is exactly what the Corey Richen case just showed us, that we can go ahead and use in a closing argument that somebody, just because it's not there, that they could have been using Wi-Fi to make calls and it wouldn't show up on your call log. And the defense tried to object to that, facts not in evidence, and the judge said, sit down. So you might as well, in your closings, start saying whatever the fuck you want. Because it's not evidence, it's just a closing argument. I thought there was rules, though, that you have to maintain, and you can't be saying stuff that, what is this? Oh, it happened in the Richardson case, so I don't know. You guys, the jury doesn't ever go back. I've never heard of a juror ever coming out and saying, hey, yeah, some of these jurors wanted to bring up, when stuff was sustained. You know what I mean? We can't talk about that. That was sustained. Let every fucking cat out of every fucking bag. Why no charges filed? At least failure to notify. Oh, I bet you they were threatened. Who knows? Maybe they have immunity on that. Who knows? But in the Corey Richardson case, this man said that there was a cover-up and it was because she did not call 911 for 15 minutes. And I'm over here like, holy shit. Then what the fuck do we have in the Idaho4 case? 9 hours. 9 hours. And we have somebody coming face to face with a masked fucking killer. who then she said potentially had a gun or an arrow or some type of fucking, weapon. But that shit's normal. Masked men come through our house all the time. It's just college. Like nothing happens here in Moscow. Oh, again, that's from Vampire Diaries. I would go ham on the sorority lifestyle and the fraternity lifestyle as far as the Greek life. Go ham. And I would show that the secret society bullshit and the hazing and what people have to do to be, to get in. I would also show that the two people that did not get killed are two people that were technically supposed to be living in sorority, houses, and they were still part of the sororities. Everybody else was out. I would put all of the blame, all of it, on that university and the undercover cops, because the cops protect the school. And that's what took place here. The cops are using students to become undercover secret fucking little CIs to run around and tell on people to get themselves out of stupid ass minor and consumption shit. They're doing controlled buys. I'm not going to get in trouble. Hey, yeah, what do you want me to do? And it's causing people to die. It truly is. But you can do and say all this shit. The cops didn't flinch with anything that these girls were saying. And it's absolutely ridiculous. You got people calling. You got Dylan and Bethany both talking to their parents on that morning. Does that normally happen? No. I've never, ever called my mom in college at 7 a.m. to tell her that I had a toothache in my entire existence. I've never called my mom to tell her that I have a headache. But you can bet your bottom dollar I would tell my mom if there was fucking 4 people dead in my house. Or if I thought my roommate Dylan was a complete fucking like, holy shit, the stuff that she's telling me that there was a masked man and that she thinks that she saw everyone dead upstairs. You can bet your bottom dollar that when I woke up and it's all sunny back outside, and because it's like the morning's coming, so it's not dark anymore, I get out of the room and I go upstairs to my room. There's nothing to be scared about anymore. 9 hours has gone by. What are you scared of? 9 hours has gone by. Nobody's pounding on your door trying to get in and kill you. What the fuck are you scared of? Nobody wanted to call 911. Why? Because nobody wanted to be on a recorded phone call. Nobody gave their name. Nobody asked for help. We need to do better as parents because that should never happen. I can promise you that my son who's in 4th grade knows why you would call 911 and that you'd be asking for help. And that you would be articulating what the hell was going on as to why you were calling 911. It's sad. To sit here and say in a recorded conversation that you didn't feel, you weren't scared at all, but yet you ran down to Bethany's room to lay in a twin bed. Bizarre. And then to stay in the twin bed the entire morning until noon. Who wants to lay with someone's like breath in their face? It's like fucking get out of here. That's disgusting. Like get out of my fucking bed. Go upstairs. Like, and I swear I think Dylan took a shower. Her hair's wet. Both of them. Look at what they're wearing. They both have sporting shirts on. That's not how they went to bed. They should be like in boxers and tank tops, booty shorts or some shit. Not layered up. Like, I mean, I'm just like, when did you guys get dressed? Look at Dylan's bed. How are you ever laying on that bed? How is all that stuff on top of her bed? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. They should not have bras on, okay? They should look like they just rolled out of bed. And they just don't. They look like they've already been dressed and ready to go do something, or potentially have already been doing something. And how about pictures from the night? Like, everybody has seen, so I would be asking people that saw that body cam, you saw Dylan and you saw Bethany. Is that what they were wearing the night before? No. Okay, so they changed. So when did when did Dylan go upstairs to put the clothing on that she has on? Oh my God, Lana, you're so right. When did that happen? Was Dylan wearing Bethany's clothes? Come the fuck on, man. Break. I'm fucking crush this shit. The lies. Brian may be guilty, right? But if anybody did this with him or protected him, don't you think that they should get in trouble? I mean, that's kind of like how I felt with the Chris Watts case. If anybody helped him fucking kill 3 because of the unborn child, you guys are fine with just, hey, it's okay. I'm not. More than one person, in my opinion, committed the crimes. I don't want anybody that did any of that stuff to ever be able to be out roaming our streets. And I don't want anybody that could have ever protected them or, hey, listen, we can't be going down for X, Y, and Z, so we're just going to lie a little bit about this. Nope. Fuck you. Get out. There's no place for Greek life on college campuses if this is what Greek life promotes, which is secrecy, lying to cops. I can tell you this, I would have lost my scholarship if I would have ever got caught lying to a police officer that came to do anything. I would have been kicked out of my sorority I would have been kicked off of the basketball team or the golf team if I would have gotten in trouble and lied to a cop. That would have been representing the university in, X, Y, and Z type of a way, and I would have lost my scholarship. Just like if I was to be ever caught doing drugs and failing a test or anything like that. But guess what? The universities allow people to be on an academic scholarship, full ride, but they can just behave however the fuck they want and they don't lose their scholarships. That was one of the papers I wrote about. I was like, if you get any money from the school, you should be across the same standards because you're representing the school because you are receiving money from them. And therefore you are held to a higher standard. But the Greek life, fuck that. They did whatever they wanted. And we stayed clear the fuck away from them because we were always like, you have to buy your friends, man. Like, it's weird to me. You're not cool enough to just like make it on your own. I got to go and be in that house so that all of those people have to be friends with me then. Bizarre. Like, no thanks. And then the amount of backstabbing that goes on and the amount of like making fun of people that goes on. It's promoting. And then we look at like the Jeffrey Epsteins of the world. It's nuts. So, hey. In other news, the fraternity Sigma Chi over there at WSU's campus got suspended. They're suspended for a year. then the other thing that's going on is this YouTube channel that puts out body cam. They've sued Moscow. They've sued. And so there's a hearing in May about it. So we'll see what's going on. I'm going to try to get more information about that, but this case just needs to go to trial. This case needs to go to trial, and everything needs to just come out. Okay. And then this way, the victims, the families, everybody, the witnesses, anybody that's involved in this case can just, here it is, and then move on. Okay. Attempt to try to, move on from whatever, however this fell upon you. But this lingering and all the shit that they do, it's ridiculous. And it's all Bill Thompson's fault. Bill Thompson did this. But you guys, this could have never went to trial, and they knew this in the first place. So it's nothing that Bill Thompson did day, 5,000. It was what he did in the beginning. This was never going to trial. He was going to make sure of it. Because they believe that none of this stuff can come out and be public. And that's what they've tried to do, is that here, we're not going to have a trial, and now we're going to try to, deny you guys in these FOIA requests or make them really expensive to get. And that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. We have a right to know what the fuck went on here. It outweighs the potential privacy. What privacy? What, your steps that you took during a murder that was happening in your house? You think that you have the right to privacy? Are you out of your fucking mind? You think that Brian Colbert has the right to privacy? Over what? He's in prison for the rest of his life. Play his fucking shit. Put his shit out there. This would have all come out in a goddamn trial. You do not have trials so that you can hide from the public what the fuck has gone on. I'm sorry, that's not how it works. It's just not. So my reasons for fighting for this case are probably a lot different than a lot of people's, but mine is for transparency. Mine is for our rights. In the beginning, Brian Colbert's rights were 1,000%, literally shredded, because there was no probable cause for half of the shit, if not all of the shit that they did. They lied. They lied to make probable cause to then get search warrants. You cannot do that. But the question should be is, why? Why not just say that you fucking did IGG, which you're allowed to do? One should have to ask themselves that. And we have the right to question things. That is our right. That's what the First Amendment is. We have the right to come out here and make a video to question what the hell has gone on. We have a right to file, make filings so that we can get X, Y, and Z. We have these rights. And it's giving me and saying that I can't have Dylan and Bethany's stairs and steps that they took from 11/11/2022 to 11/13/2022. I'm starting it like on Friday and going till Sunday. The weekend of the murder. That's a privacy. That's an unwarranted invasion of privacy. Excuse me? No, that's an exhibit that was going to be used by one of the experts for a timeline into where everybody's located in their movements throughout the weekend. How are you denying me that? It's literally only going to be like 7 or 8 pages because like it's just each person and it's a printout. There's nothing. This isn't like metadata. It's a printout. And it's just like how Jennifer McCabe's, from this, if they had, if there was a watch that they had on or if they just had their phone and it just tells you how many steps that they took in a 10-minute, in each 10-minute period. And I think that we have a right to know if what Dylan told the police was true or not. Because if Ann Taylor is going to sit here and argue that Dylan was awake, but Dylan's phone is showing no movement on it, then I'm over here saying, what the fuck, Ann Taylor? But I know that that's not the case. I know that there is movement, and there's a lot of movement. And I want to know how many steps, and I want to know what time. And I want to know if they did like the GPS to say, did it go outside of the fact that it could be in the house? Could those steps have been taken outside of the house? Remember, Ann Taylor was making arguments like saying, well, the door is right there. Did they run outside? They have a door right there. They have this. And yet Dylan and Bethany stay inside in a room. Why would anybody do that? You know what Hitler's answer was? Well, because the person left. So why would they run out? If Jennifer McCabe fucking shits out there and it was put out there in a motion unredacted, then what about Jennifer McCabe's privacy? Like, privacy? What are you talking about? This is during a murder. There's no privacy. And here's Idaho. We bunch of bitches. Privacy. But you want your fucking guns, right? The fuck out of here. Privacy. See you guys on the next one. It's all a bunch of bullshit. Anyways, hope you guys liked witness number 1. Calvin. Carolina Calvin. Witness number 1. Just turn on all chat message. Yeah. If you guys didn't see me light up Turtle Boy and Melanie Little, holy shit. 6 hours of just like fucking bringing the truth. Because that turtle train, the lies that he has put Melanie Little on for 2 years, I can't even believe it. I literally can't believe that Melanie Little got duped this bad. And literally on Twitter, you know how she's getting harassed? You guess who was doing the harassing of her? All those fucking turtle riders that have fucking alt accounts, because that's what they do. They just troll each other. They think it's like the greatest thing ever. But yeah. So I think you guys will enjoy the mock trial. We'll be doing it. Yeah, like it'd be like a 9 to 3 type of thing. Just like how Hitler was going to do, 9 to 3. And we're just going to, here's what the state was going to present. I'm hoping that by the time, Hitler just went ahead and made his ruling and said, yeah, we're going to be releasing all this. So we should get it. And then it is what it is. So somebody was writing me saying, how dare I do Melanie Little is the most credible person with the case of Turtle Boy. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, that's the problem right there. Loving the mock trial. I did it in high school. Yay. Right. So, but we're going to need some help though, pulling it off. It's just, I don't want to have people come up on and then like just make up answers. I'd rather just, here's the questions that would have been asked. And so you can kind of see like, oh, this is how they would like, we would have gotten that answer, or we wouldn't have known this, but these people would have been, I mean, if you're Dylan Mortensen, do you want to be up there? No fucking way. You're Bethany. You want to be asking? Fuck no. No. Moscow Police Department is just going to continue to say, like, I don't know. I don't recall. I can't remember. It's been so long. I don't know. Like, oh, proud Buckeye. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Tomorrow's what? Thursday. Yes. Guess what kicks off tomorrow? March Madness. March Madness. March Madness. Make sure you guys oh, I think I'm gonna do a birthday top 64. Top 64 Idaho4 like moments. I think you guys will like that. Or maybe just like a top 64 from this past year or something. You know. But thank you guys. Appreciate you. I'm gonna rest my voice a little. ACC. Who do you guys got? I'm filling out my bracket right now. Who are you picking to win it all? Anybody doing brackets? All right, join me back here. The games start off at like noon. You have to have your bracket in before noon. So I'll be live before then, and I will reveal my bracket. Copy away. Go put it in one of the, they have free ones out there. Go try to win like, I don't know, $1 million. Put in I think one of the bracket busters is for $1 million. So Duke or Carolina, I'm going to go with the 4 seed. That's what I'm leaning towards right now. We'll see. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Good night.